Alright, I think I found my best angle and lighting and background. We're shooting on the fly here out in the woods. This is Brain Smasher with another episode of Doomtober. This is number 3 from season 2, and we're back at the place where it all began, here in the same park that I shot episode 1 3 years ago. It's a little colder today, and it's kind of been hard to find more golden leaves lately. The sugar maples had a little bit of a cold snap this weekend, and they really tended to drop a lot of their leaves. So we're left mostly with the kind of brownish leaves of the oak trees, the mighty oak tree. So today I have 4 picks for you. This is getting harder and harder as I get into each episode to pick the picks, because in season 1 of Doomtober I picked the best. I picked all the best. I did 4 videos with 4 picks each, I believe, and that was 20 of my Doomtober favorites. So like going down below that is not a whole lot to come up with, but I have persevered and I've come up with 4 more Doomtober picks for you to enjoy in perpetuity. So thanks for watching the first 2 if you did. If you did not, hop on and first of all subscribe, and number 2, go check out the Doomtober videos down there, up there, over there, whatever. Anyways, what I want to talk to you about is a band called Dusk from Wisconsin, and they had 2 EPs, one of them 33 minutes in length and the other 26 minutes in length, and you can get them as a compilation together, so it kind of winds up being kind of like a long-ish album, and that compilation compiles their Majestic Thou in Ruin EP, and the other one I believe was self-titled, and there's nothing heavier than Dusk. They never quite caught on because I don't think they ever really got the steam to record a full length, sadly, but man, this is just some of the heaviest. I guess it's kind of a stretch to call them a doom band. They're kind of more of a slow death metal band, but I feel like, splitting hairs, this is not going to be a hard sell for you guys. If you liked anything like the Dead Serenade in that last video, oh, that band is so good. So Dusk is so good. This is really kind of where in the last couple of years I really began to fall in love with a band that sounds exactly like it would if you were there in person. Not overproduced, just heavy as all get out, but not in a way where their sound is exaggerated. I guess I really appreciate a band that can sound heavy by way of their style and you know, making use of their sound, but not exaggerating any of that strength whatsoever through studio trickery or whatever. Anyways, Dusk is just totally guttural vocals. The drums are really just bottom heavy, and those snare hits just pop like they ought to. And there's a lot of like chuggy riffs. It's kind of typical in that regard, but when you really start to dig in and really pay attention to what they're doing, they've got these, like, their style and their personality that I like. What I like about them so much is they have these like really dramatic tempo changes or key drops. I guess, I mean, a lot of kids talk about the drop in like dubstep or whatever, but in this case there's these really dramatic shifts where it's just like it feels so desperate and sad and lonely, and then like it's just dashed away by fits of absolute anger, and those moments are illustrated by groove, a little bit of kind of chunky wailing, soloing kind of, if you will. I guess more harmony than soloing, if anything. But yeah, just listen. This band is just absolute cream of the crop doom death metal. And they are no more. They did do a band after Dusk broke up called ftic. and there was a compilation of their demos, which you can get in any cutout bin and tons of distros for cheap. I think it was called Stillness Grows, and that's worth getting. The main songwriter, his name is escaping me. In fact, I think I met him at Gilead Fest 2014. But really talented guy, and you can hear that personality just like from Dusk to ftic. So if you love Dusk, you haven't heard of ftic, do it. It is so worth it. But yeah, this is just like one of those bands that's just emblematic of the Wisconsin death metal sound, the Midwest mid-90s sound, and they are a band that just needs to be exalted on high for how great, heavy, doomy, emotional, and heavy, and they're amazing. So secondly, we have a band from Germany called Imperium with their 1997 full length. I talk about 97 in every single video. Yes, I do. Songs of Moors and Misty Fields. It's surprising how sad an album about misty fields and moors can sound. I don't really know what the gravitas of the emotional depth and topics there are. This album is a masterpiece. It is, again, kind of a stretch to call it a Doom album, but I think it really clicks a lot of the boxes. And I kind of want you guys, if you love Doom, to check this out if it isn't something you already would. I think Imperium kind of get lumped in as a black metal band, but there's really nothing black metal about them. Their vocals are kind of high pitched, but their vocals primarily are clean and kind of like that operatic, more of a goth vocal, really. Oh, that kind of thing. That is just really prevalent all over this thing. You know, this is maybe a kind of a tough pill to swallow for some who are not into the cheesiness of something like this. But man, there's gothic elements to it. There's a lot of folk elements to it. It's very much a melding of goth and folk. There's a lot of violin, cello, all kinds of stuff, and a lot of synth even. So there's a lot of kind of non-metal elements to it, but the songs are so atmospheric and drawn out, and I don't know, they're just transportive. There's a lot of acoustic passages here and there. In fact, their Winter Sunset album, I might say, is actually a little bit more doomy than this one. In fact, I'm kind of now thinking, like, why didn't I pick that one over this one? But whatever. They did an acoustic album called Wyland, which is really good. And then they broke up and came back together. And then I think last year put out an album that was pretty well received, but I wasn't really feeling it. But this band's first two are absolutely transportive and great. I'm trying to, they kind of like, oh, okay. They remind me very much of like a German version of Oliver's Bergtot, with maybe more gothy kind of vocals, kind of like the fluffy wristed kind of thing. That is just all over this album. This definitely fits into that category. I feel like I'm starting to like devise a playlist or a list of albums that would fit the like floofy wristed pirate shirt kind of genre. But yeah, this would fit in there. Songs of Moors and Misty Fields by Imperium. Great band. And the next Doomtober pick I have for you is by a band called The Fall of Every Season. They were from Norway, and this album is from 2013, titled Amends. Now, by all accounts, when looking at the cover of this thing, and maybe like the band name, kind of everything about it from a glance is something that would just not pick my interest whatsoever. But upon hitting play on this album, this is a very, very noteworthy, talented, especially memorable album. It's kind of weird that this guy's been dragging on this project for now 10 years, saying he's going to do another album, but never has. I don't know. I hope it happens sometime, but in the meantime, this is really something worth coming back to. I kind of forgot about it in my collection for a couple of years, But upon working on this video, I came across it and was reminded of how fucking good this thing is. Your Morning Beloved fans, your Officium Trist fans, Daylight Dies, Saturnus, if you're into all that stuff, this is right in there with all those bands. But like, I never hear this name come up. I kind of don't know why. Grau Records put this one out, which I don't really know a whole lot about, but I think they're based out of probably Norway and do a lot of, I think, like atmospheric kind of Viking black metal kind of stuff. So maybe this is a little bit of a weird release for that label, I guess. But I don't know. It's tremendous. The production on the album is absolutely flawless. With all the different passages and interludes of like from clean to heavy stuff, mixing in, washing into other stuff. It's just really, really well done, tastefully written. Sometimes I just kind of can't believe how guttural the guy's vocals are. I believe this is a solo project. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's another thing that impressed me about it. It just is really talented at kind of working on all these instruments separately and just kind of like fully realizing his vision into completion. And it sounds like a really, really honed, well-crafted band putting together these songs. But it's not. It's just a guy that is really meticulous and makes everything sound awesome. It's just a great sounding record. And I guess like a lot of these are, it's emotionally captivating. There's times where he just kind of gets into these really sad, melancholic kind of grooves, and it's not cheesy. It's kind of, it just makes it a unique experience to listen to. So check out the Fall of Every Season, Amends. Hopefully the guy does another album here shortly. He kind of teased at something back in August for the first time in a really long time. So I hope something comes out of that. But in the meantime, check it out if it's something you think you might love. And finally today, we are talking about another Norwegian band, the best country for metal. Come on, let's just agree on this, can we? I'm getting a little chilly. Third and Immortal with their Tears Laid in Earth full length from 1994. Voices of Wonder put this guy out, and I want to say this just was released, reissued on vinyl a year or two ago, maybe more than that, but recently. I think you should be able to find copies of this without trying too hard. What a beautiful, amazing band. I was first captivated by the vocals of Kari Ruslatten when I heard Storm's Nordavind. Her singing is just breathtakingly beautiful and perfect. And so I immediately went to this band and loved it. This is really, really soft, sad, transportive. It's rarely doomy, I guess I would say. There's a lot of just kind of clean, meandering, emotive passages that are kind of dark and sad, but it isn't super often that it eventually rolls into metal that you're thinking of. So I don't know, it's not a super heavy album, but it is just gorgeous. It's really interesting and unique how the guitar work is kind of dissonant and I guess just kind of strange. It's not very, I guess her vocals are melodic, but the music is not. I think that's kind of where I would describe things. But when it gets heavy after all of just this kind of melancholic sort of drifting going on, it is very, very captivating and effective when they get into their heavy moments. I really like the kind of just realistic sound of the studio that they have. It's not really overproduced or gimmicky really at all. I know I feel like I say that, I repeat myself a lot when I say that stuff isn't gimmicky, but that is just something that is so important to me anymore, and I think that's why I prefer this era of music, is because I feel like a lot of the ideas that I prefer to have in music started back in the mid-90s, and so now when those ideas are brought to something, I feel like it's got to be very genuine, and I'm kind of a hard sell because I've already heard it before in the beginning. And that's just my preference. If other bands do it differently for you, great. But man, Third and Immortal were a really, really, really special band. They kind of grew out of this style and got a little more proggy, I guess. I don't know. But like this band, along with Aatrox, early on had just like a really, really strong hold on like female fronted, atmospheric doom kind of stuff, and had some really special run of releases there. Aatrox also just kind of like puttered off into very weird territory and kind of alienated everything. But additionally, the EP that came out before this, Sorrow, is also very good. And I believe there was a demo or something. But Carrie Ruslatten, I think, is really, I don't know, the vocalist of this band that I prefer. I think she quit after Tears Laid in Earth and went on to do solo work, which was really, really happy and like less metal-y, and yeah, I didn't really feel for it. But what a gorgeous voice. I can't get enough of her singing. Really, really special kind of thing to listen to around this time of year. So, with that, I want to bid you adieu. I hope I can come up with another 4 Doomtober albums for you to listen to. I know I didn't follow through with getting these all banged out in the month of October, but whatever. You're going to live. A lot of these, I don't know, there's something very special about this month, of course. But I feel like a lot of these could also really hit a mark or hit a nerve in the winter months too. So don't let that dissuade you from checking out some of this stuff if you haven't heard it already. So let me know in the comments so far what your favorite Doomtober discovery has been, whether it be from Season 2, Season 1, or if you have anything that I need to check out that you think should belong in this video series. Let me know, because I don't know if I'm going to do another series of it again, because after covering 40 releases of this Doomtober thing that's in my head, I don't know if I can come up with many more. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, subscribe, hit me up on Patreon if that's what you're feeling, and we'll see you in the next one. Woohoo! That was a great video, and it was made possible mostly by me, but also thanks to the undying and kind support of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you all. I love you. If you are interested in being a part of my Patreon channel and supporting what I do, you are welcome to join at the URL below. It is only $6.66 per month, and you're going to love it.